How does connectivity for sustainability affect urban planning?
Well, I think the premise of pervasiveness of broadband is really changing how urban planners look at delivering buildings, delivering roads, integrating transport systems, and they're looking at how then they are able to communicate with the travelling public or with the business user. And clearly video is a tremendous way of being able to educate somebody in terms of how they should use a facility, how they should best take advantage of travel, how they should best take advantage of integrated transport systems, and then trying to make sure whether something is static or whether something is on the move, bringing the worlds of wireless broadband with wired broadband together. Planners are beginning to understand that they can do a lot more than they ever could before, and that allows them to plan for a much more efficient use of resources when they're looking at large-scale urban development.
What role can broadband play then within urban planning schemes?
I think it is really essential to urban planning, but it's not just about broadband, it's about quality broadband. It's about the ability to truly use broadband to be able to deliver any type of media. And most broadband, realistically, in its first phase was to deliver simple connectivity, voice or data connectivity. And now they recognise that they can truly be able to deliver high quality video images anywhere around an urban environment by the use of quality broadband versus just connectivity broadband.
So what is telepresence and how can that contribute to sustainability?
Well, telepresence is very simply the ability for people to have a face-to-face meeting across the continents of the world, to bring people together in a way that truly reduces time and space. And that's really important when you look at the new business models where collaboration is the primary way people actually will work together in the future to innovate, to drive productivity gains across their company. And if you look at the impact financially on Cisco, we've probably already saved 240 million, through the 145,000 meetings that have taken place, and 28,000 of those meetings avoided the need for travel. We can truly say that we're trying to really leverage technology, and we're able to do that in terms of making the world a better place in terms of its efficient use of resources, but also we're able to do that in a way that's changing and making our own company more productive.
In what ways do you think the private sector can help influence EU politicians on matters such as climate change?
Well, I think all large businesses in particular have a responsibility, but also they have a capability which I think when you marry that and collaborate with the public sector actually makes it far more powerful. So the combined approach from the public and private sector, I think, produces far better results, because there's some things that the private sector can control, there's some things that they can't. So when you look at these smart centres that we've experienced here in Amsterdam, that would never have happened if the private and public sector hadn't come together. The private sector on their own can't do it, the public sector on their own can't do it. Bring them together, change regulations, give incentives for people to travel less, and you start to see a different way that people want to work in the future.
Finally, obviously we've talked about how IT can help the situation, but IT is a contributor to greenhouse gases. What can the industry do to cut its own emissions?
At this moment in time, IT consumes about 2% or produces about 2% of the world's CO2 emission. So clearly it has a big responsibility, and if you look at it's probably going to grow to between 4 and 6% of global emission. So the obvious things we have to do is to make our products more and more efficient. But that's not the real answer. The real answer is how you use technology in an architectural way to reduce the way human beings consume energy, and to make that happen in a far more efficient way. And IT, I think, is a big component of how we will solve this. For example, the first thing we need to be able to do is we have to be able to measure the amount of energy that we use, not just as a whole building, but every single device, so that people understand that if they turn that device off, it will save an amount of energy. And to do that, what we're trying to do as a company is to look at how we issue carbon goals in the same way as we issue financial goals.
Chris Dedicoat, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.